Alrighty, everybody, had my latest client question, and it was actually a listing appointment. Went and sat down with a really nice young couple that are planning on, or they were thinking about selling their home and then actually living out of their motorhome and traveling North America for the next couple of years. And we were having a look, and they bought their own family home from family, which can be a good situation. But we sat down and they were wondering how much equity they had in their property. It did turn out that there was no equity. So we were looking at it, but it does turn out that their monthly payments are at a point where, with their payment, interest, tax, that if they rent the property for about where it's worth, they're going to cash flow for $400 a month. And because it's a family home that's been in their family for a long time, we were looking at it, and I actually talked myself out of a listing, but it didn't make sense for them to sell. It actually made sense for them to rent. Now, the interesting scenario is their family all actually lives in the area. So the father-in-law and an uncle are all within a block or two. And I think they realized after sitting down, because Dad was there too, that Dad even realized that they probably overpaid on the house a little bit. Unfortunately, this young couple probably didn't have someone help them out and do a CMA or run an appraisal. But not a huge deal, because I mean, they're not planning on selling it, or it doesn't make sense to sell. And that's the really interesting thing about a listing conversation is once we've processed all the information, it might not be in a client's best interest to sell. So it was one of those situations where, yeah, I had to advise them, listen, guys, this actually makes more sense for your family to rent the property for the next 2 or 3 years while you're off doing your thing, and take that little bit of residual cash flow monthly. And if you've got your father-in-law living down the street and an uncle there, they can help you with management. It's not like you have to hire professional management to look after one property. So anyway, that was an interesting one today I wanted to share. It's not always the best scenario for somebody to sell a property. In fact, most of the time it's not. If you can afford to keep the property and leverage against it, I'm going to be the first person to tell you, because your referrals are way more important to me, and your long-term relationship with me is way more important than one sale. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. Have a good week.